Hey, welcome to lesson 3.2a. Tonight we got our standard lesson. We review, we got some video work, we're going to do some guided practice, and then we're also going to do some independent stuff, and I have an early finishers challenge once again. So let's get started with the review. Take a maximum of 5 minutes on these problems right here. I'll put myself up in the corner so you can see better. All right, let's take a look and see how you did. 122 times 24 is 2,928. 3,026 divided by 34 is 89. A couple of these down here, writing these expressions or equations. A number decreased by 10 is 6. That's m minus 10 equals 6. 3 times the difference between a number j and 3, that would be 3 parentheses j minus 3. The quotient of a number and 4 is 12, so that would be m divided by 4 like this, or we could write it as a fraction, m fraction bar 4 equals 12. 7 times the sum of a number and 12. 7 times the sum of a number and 12. You can hear those parentheses. Whenever you hear the word the sum or the difference, more than likely there's a new set of parentheses in there. All right, good luck watching your video. Have fun. Hey Valley Middle, welcome back to another math video. Tonight we're going to be solving addition equations. Before we do that, let's go ahead and start off with our trivia question of the day. How long was the Wright brothers' first flight? We'll be back with the answer to that after instructions. Tonight officially, I can solve addition equations using the inverse operation. Well, that's kind of a mouthful. I'm going to even give you a bigger mouthful here. Dan had some toy trucks. He bought 7 more. Now he has 13. Write and solve a one variable equation. Isolate the variable by using the inverse operation. Yeah, I know, that's a lot. Let's have some fun first. I think it's important to know that this is a brand new Chevy with the lift kit. Sorry, a little Florida Georgia line there before we get going with the heavy stuff. So, write and solve a one variable equation. Well, we spent the first 3 lessons of this unit writing equations. And so we can say, here's the trucks I had to start with. Here's 7 more. Now I have 13. Now, we're going to have to isolate the variable and use the inverse operation. Now I know, here's my fight in this target is kids just saying, it's 6. Guys, that's like 2nd or 3rd grade math. We're using simple numbers to teach you the process of going through and isolating this. So take a look at it. We subtract 7 from both sides. If you subtract 7 from one side of an equation, on the equal side, you have to subtract it on the other. That's called balancing the equation. You end up with t minus 0, 7 plus 7 minus 7, that's 0. So t minus 0 equals 6. Now this step here, we can really just skip, and we can just say that we just have t equals 6 here. All right? Now, look at this. T plus 7 equals 13. When you have plus 7 and minus 7, those cancel out, leaving just that t equals 6. Now, I know you can say, I can do it in a calculator, I can do it in my head. I don't care. The numbers are simple. We're using simple numbers so that you learn this process of writing the equation, isolating the variable. We got the variable all by itself, and we use the inverse operation. This is an addition equation. See? So on addition equations, we use subtraction to isolate. All right, that's a lot. Okay, finally, we need to check it. So you just substitute the variable in. 6 plus 7 is 13. Bam, done. Let's look more at this vocabulary. Just review this a little bit more. First of all, addition equation. Addition equation is any equation where the operation is addition. X plus 2 equals 6. There's addition. That's an addition equation. Okay, inverse operation. Inverse operation is the opposite operation. So when you think about that, if an equation is written with addition, you solve it with subtraction. And you can see all these other ones, and these are the next coming lessons. The next lesson is going to be subtraction equations. You solve subtraction equations with, sorry, I thought I could move that. You solve subtraction equations with addition, and so on. All right? Okay, isolate the variable. That's getting the variable all alone or by itself here. So look at x equals 4. We've isolated the variable. It's exactly what we want to know. What is x? X equals 4. All right, here we're going to solve this one here. X plus 3 equals 6. Addition equation. We'll subtract 3 from this side. We subtract the 3, not the 6, because we're trying to isolate x. We're trying to get x by itself. So when we subtract that off, we've got nothing on this side over here but x. And then we can say 6 minus 3 is 3. We've isolated the variable. All right? A lot of vocabulary. Inverse operation, addition equation, isolate the variable, plus this whole process. I'm going to go back and take this up one step further here. I'm just going to clear my ink here and just say that your brothers and sisters are doing equations like this if they're in high school or in upper middle school, and you'll see them putting these railroad tracks in. I'm not going to require that, but you could do that if you want. But they put them in to show that when you do something on one side of an equation on the railroad tracks, you have to do it on the other side of it. They're constantly isolating variables and doing this. And this is just a real baby step operation here to get us ready for more difficult equations with numbers that we can't do in our head. So first we're going to baby step our way through here. All right? We good with the simple numbers? All right, thank you. I know I got a little preachy there, but kids just want to, they know how to solve it. And no, it's not about the answer. It's about the process. All right, here's one here. N plus 6 equals 24. What type of an equation is it? Addition. Good. How do we isolate it? How do we get n by itself? We're going to subtract 6 from both sides. All right? When we do that, these guys cross off here. We're left with n equals 18. Cross off means you have a plus 6 here, and a minus 6 equals nothing. N equals 18. Then we just pop it in and check it. 18 plus 6 equals 24. Bam, we are moving on. Let's try one more, and then you're going to try a couple. 16 plus k equals 39. Ooh, I reversed it a little bit. I put the variable in the middle. But still, we're trying to get k by itself. Is this a positive or a negative? Well, this is positive 16. It doesn't say that it's a minus 16, so we've got to get rid of it to get k by itself. So we subtract 16 from here. We subtract 16 from this side. Sorry, this should cross out. There it is. Those cancel out. We're left with k equals 23. All right, pop it in. Does it make sense? 16 plus 23 equals 39. Now, I'm going to ask you, can you do a couple of problems like this for pause problems and 2 problems for the ticket of the show? Can you use simple numbers? Can you do it exactly like this? Because if you just write 16 plus 23 equals 39, you've missed the whole point of this lesson. All right? I think you're ready. Here we go. Here's your first one. First pause problems. Go ahead. All righty. Let's see how you did. Well, it's an addition equation. You got a plus 15. So to get a by itself, you're going to have to subtract 15 from both sides. Maybe I don't have that crossout in there. There we go. So when those cancel off, and you've just got a equals 6, because 21 minus 15 is 6. Pop it in. 6 plus 15 is 21, and you are on to the next pause problem. Go ahead and give this guy a shot. Alrighty. See how you did? Yeah, I switched it up. Did you subtract 42 from both sides? Yeah, there wasn't a plus over here, but remember, this is a positive 42 because it doesn't say that it's a minus, right? So we subtracted 42 from both sides, and those guys cross off. You've got b left. 78 minus 42 is 36. Pop it in, double check it. Here we go. 30 plus 40 is 70. 6 plus 2 is 8. There's your 78. All right, couple of pause problems. Let your copy take a second to copy those down. All right. How long was the Wright brothers' first flight? Not long. It was 10:35 a.m. on December 17th, 1903. Wright brothers flew, I think it was the Kitty Hawk was the name of the plane. Flew the Flyer for 12 seconds over 120 feet. Note, the Boeing 747 wingspan is longer than the Wright brothers' first flight. Don't believe me? Here it is. The wingspan of a 747 is 211 feet. It's actually 231 feet in length, but the wingspan is 211 feet, almost twice what the Wright brothers' first flight was. We've come a long way. Thanks for listening. Have a great night. Welcome back. Hope you got your pause problems and your ticket to the show taken care of. Let's take a look one more time at the addition equation. That's just an equation with an addition symbol in it, like x plus 2 equals 8. Inverse operations, that's using the opposite operation. We're solving addition equations tonight, so we're going to be doing a lot of subtracting. That's the opposite. Isolating the variable, that means to get it by itself. I know I sound like a broken record. I've said these things over and over again because they're difficult terms, and that's why we're using these simple numbers to get started with. So, all right, here we go. We'll take a look at this one here. I had w plus 7 equals 11. How do we go about solving that? Well, in order to isolate the w and get it by itself, we have to subtract 7 from both sides. So we'll do that. And then we're going to have just really w minus 0, because 7 minus 7 is 0, right? Equals 4. 11 minus 7 is 4. So now this step here, we can just eliminate. I don't put it in. Some people do. To me, it's a waste of writing because these just cancel out. Plus 7 minus 7, you've got your 0. W equals 4. Some kids do like putting these railroad tracks in. When we get a little bit more harder two-step equations, I will require the railroad tracks. Again, the railroad tracks just help you remember that whatever you do on this side, you have to do on the other side of the tracks as well. Your brothers and sisters, if they asked you to solve this equation, they read the directions, they'd put them in. If they're older, because they're constantly using these. They're required to do this. And so we'll start requiring them in lesson 3.58. All right, let's do 4 problems here. Go ahead and let's look at these together. I'm going to slide myself back down. Okay, so we have d plus 14 equals 39. What are you going to do? I'm going to subtract. So we're going to subtract 14 from both sides. Those are going to cross off. We'll end up with d equals 25. Okay, take a look at this one. Go ahead and give that a quick shot. All right. Well, this is a positive 27. It's not negative. So we're going to subtract 27 from both sides. These cross off. You've got m equals 30. You could pop it in to make sure it works. 27 plus 30 equals 57. All right, we got I, or L, I think it's L plus 25 equals 35. I know you're saying it's 10. I don't care. Can you isolate the variable? Can you subtract 25 from both sides to show that L equals 10? All right, this last one. Subtract 19 from both sides. We got t equals 0. What? You can't have 0 as an answer. Oh, maybe we can. Let me see. Let's put it in. 19 plus 0 equals 19. Right? Okay. All right, now we've got those 4 down. This is your first 4 guided problems. Do those are the easy ones. Now we're going to do 4 that are a little more challenging. And I'm going to introduce a few things to you here. These have some negative numbers in there. There's some quirky things about negative numbers. It'll be your first introduction to them. But if you see something that says m minus a negative 1, that's really the same as m plus 1. And I call this the double shot because you could just go psh, psh. When they are right next to each other, minus, minus, those are both pluses. M minus a negative 1 is the same thing as m plus 1. Okay? You're going to need to know that one. All right. How about this one? Negative 1 plus a negative 1 is a negative 2. You owe somebody $1. You borrow another $1. That's negatives because you're losing. And you got negative $2. Okay? All right. This one here. Now you got 1, and you're going to add a negative 3. Well, if you think about a number line, you're over here. Let me just put a quick number line down here. We're over here at 1, and we're going to add a negative 3. We're going backwards, right? So you're really going to have a negative 2. You're going to go past the 0, past negative 1, and end up on negative 2 if you're jumping that on the number line. All right, keep those things in mind as we work through these. So now we have n minus a negative 36 equals 8. Can you solve this equation? Give it a shot for a second. Well, you're right. It's an addition. This is really like double shot this. So now I can just subtract 36 from both sides. Ooh, 8 minus 36. Well, let's think about that. You're at positive 8. You're going to subtract 36. Well, you've got 8 positive, so really what you can do in this situation is you can take the 36 minus the 8, You're going to have 28. And that's going to be negative because this one's more negative than this is positive. So you got n equals a negative 28. I know you're mad at me for giving you negative numbers, but I can't not give it to you. This is what 7th grade math is. All right, try this guy. Yeah, I know this one's a little bit easier. Okay, so double shot these guys first. This is a psh, psh. And now we can just subtract 14. This is a positive 14, so we subtract 14 from both sides. We equal 7 equals y. Yeah, that was easier. All right, how about this one? What are you going to do? Well, this is a positive 4, so we're just going to subtract 4 from each side. But now you've got a negative 10 and a negative 4. Well, up here you told me that negative 1 plus a negative 1 was a negative 2. Therefore, this has to be a negative 14. We have 10. We've got a negative 4. When we combine those, we have a negative 14. All right, let me slide myself up so you can take a look at this last guy here. What are you going to do? You're going to subtract 10 from both sides, right? I agree. Here's a negative 2 and a negative 10. When you combine those, you're going to have a negative 12 equals A. All right, good job. All right, here's your independent practice. It's going to be 12 problems. You got 6 here and 6 here. And I will zoom in on them so you can see them in just a few minutes. I've also attached this as a PDF if you want to upload those. Upload it to Notability and work on it there. But here they are. A little bit larger. I'll let you take a peek at those 6. And you have to isolate just like I've shown here. So I've done the first example for you. Okay, here are the other 6, just the ones with the stars, because some of these are subtraction equations. We're just doing addition equations tonight. Very good. Here are your answers. I really don't care so much about the answers as did you isolate? These are the answers you should have ended up with. Yeah, I know I threw a couple of negative ones in. Those are challenges. It says right here on here you can skip the challenges if you want, but I thought you could maybe try them. You do have a calculator, and you can put the negative numbers into a calculator, and it'll work just fine. Go back and maybe just take a look at this real quick. Let's just look at this problem down here. Put the calculator in. Just take a minus 10. Minus 10. Minus 4, it gives you the minus 14. So I mean, these ones down here, you can solve those. That's not a big deal. You can do that. All right. At this point in time, you're ready for the quiz. If you get done early here with the quiz and you have some time, or you want to try to challenge yourself a little further, take a little enrichment, here are some word problems. I'll let you take a look at these. I've shown you how to solve it. I wrote it. I solved it by isolating. Move my head so you can see this one. Okay, here's this one. 4 more, so it's a total of 10 you could take a look at. And here are those answers. Okay, all right, thanks so much. Make sure you get this stuff ready to upload all onto that sheet, just as we laid out. And again, the early finishers, you don't need to upload that. That was just kind of a little extra thing you can do for enrichment if you got done early. Thanks so much.